Hello, g'day, welcome to the Call-In podcast series of the Amazon Investor Coalition. We're online at amazoninvestor.org. Each week, Jonah Whitcamper and I feature an innovator whose work advances forest-friendly economic development across the Amazon region of South America. We hope to entertain, inspire, educate, and most importantly, catalyze action. So our very first guest on the call today is Daniel Dabara. With a successful commercial history producing chemicals and ingredients, the Dabara family has been in business for generations. One company, Beraca, is a leader in Amazon sustainability, employing thousands of families and selling raw materials to cosmetics companies around the world. 5 years ago, Daniel created the Beraca Institute to help corporations develop similar sustainable enterprises in the region in ways that ensure consistent production and help rather than harm local communities, which is easier said than done. Join us to hear Daniel's story. Enjoy.
Hope is that this will become a weekly moment to showcase a couple of leaders in the space, but also to come up with strategies that we can execute on together. And there are 4 primary outcomes. One is guides for impact investing in the region. Another one is a survey about rule of law philanthropy in the region. Another one is an investor education campaign where we try to bring in the pension funds and the capital markets globally for our cause. And the 4th goal is innovation of the carbon markets and ecosystem service payment regimes around the world to help scale those ideas. Danielle, please tell us who you are, tell us about Instituto Beraca. Why on earth are you joining us for this call?
Good afternoon. Good to see some friendly faces, Alex from USAID, and some others. My name is Daniel Dabara. Jonah, thank you for the invitation, and I hope to learn a lot from the group and to share some experience as well. So I'm the CEO for Beraca, and I'm also the vice president for Beraca Institute. So I'm going to be wearing 2 hats today: a little bit of the company and how we work in the Amazon, and a little bit of the institute as well. So I'll try to be brief. So basically, I'm representing today 2 different institutions. One is Beraca, which is a company, and also the Beraca Institute, an NGO that I'm going to explain to you a little bit on how this happened. So first, Beraca as a company is part of a group. It's a family group founded in 1956, so over 60 years in the business, with 4 different business units and production plants in Brazil. And internationally, it's a multinational group, so we have subsidiaries in France and 2 in the United States. So a little bit of the business units that the group holds. So Beraca, which is the BU that I run, is focused on natural and organic certified ingredients, ethically sourced from the Brazilian biodiversity, mainly in the Amazon rainforest. So basically our portfolio involves vegetable oils, minerals, meaning clays, extracts, and multifunctional ingredients with clinically proven benefits. So the key markets that we serve with that portfolio are cosmetics, pharmaceutical, and personal care. We also have a branch business unit that works with ingredients for food products, also animal nutrition and veterinary industries. Also, the portfolio is based on natural products as well, oil resins, natural colorants. So some of the line that we have at Beraca for cosmetics and pharmaceutical is shared with our friends from Concepta that works with food ingredients. And the Dabara chemicals, so basically this is the main BU of the group. It works with water treatment, sanitation, and disinfection. So both for public and private water and waste treatment industries. So this is still the biggest business. And we also have what we call bioenergy. So basically it's also water treatment, but mostly for different industries in the process of, for instance, ethanol, sugar, alcohol, energy, leather. So many kinds of applications of these chemicals in water, processing water during this chemical processing. So my focus here is Beraca. I just wanted to give you an overview of how is it based within the group. And we are global leaders in natural ingredients from the Brazilian Amazon. Not only the Brazilian Amazon, but mostly coming from Brazil. In the year 2000, we created a sourcing and relationship program, and it became a key factor to our business model because it's basically how we manage and how we basically establish our relationship with the sourcing that we have, which is through a wild harvesting and family agriculture. That's the model. Currently we have about 2,500 families in 12 different states, in Brazil mostly, and also in some South American countries that also share the Amazon rainforest. So we process over 1,000 tons, so basically 1 million kilos of seeds, roots, and other vegetable raws, sourced from these local groups every year. We have some key customers, just to give you an overlook on those. They are all over the world. Key leaders mostly for cosmetics. And the Beraca Institute was created specifically to serve a need that was created basically because as we had this relationship program with our sourcing communities and we started to connect those two ends of the supply chain, the sourcing groups, the sourcing communities, and the final consumer, in a way that they were exchanging information, they were sharing value. Many opportunities came up and challenges that a private company could not handle by itself. So basically, we had customers looking to invest or even looking to donate to the sourcing groups, to the sourcing communities. And the most transparent and the most adequate way to do this was through a nonprofit organization. So basically, for over 10 years, we have done many projects with local NGOs, and obviously, like anywhere else, there are very good NGOs based and working in the Amazon rainforest, and there are very bad ones as well. So we didn't have very much good examples of our relationships with those NGOs, mostly because we were missing an institution that could have a clear view of a real connection between the sourcing groups, the sourcing communities, all of their problems and challenges, and the market, so the final market. So we were struggling to find an institution that could understand the need of having a clear and strong connection with the market. So with the ones that we had relationships with, they didn't have that clear view of the need of a clear market, a strong market. So we decided back in 2014 to create one institution with that mindset. So a strong market-driven mindset. So we understood that without that, we could train and capacitate or even leverage the skills of those groups and never be successful, because at the end of the day, they need to pay their bills. At the end of the day, they need to buy industrialized goods, and they need cash to come in. So they need money to, so they need that connection with the market. So we decided to create this institution, who is, in addition to this strong market connection, we understood that without monitoring the socioeconomic impact and environmental impact, this would not be successful. So this wouldn't succeed. So those were the main guidelines that we used to create the Beraca Institute. So currently the institute, it's a new institute, so we can say that it's almost 6 years old. It's quite new. But it's growing strongly and very fast. So basically we have 22 ongoing initiatives in 7 different Brazilian states, 12 different municipalities, mostly in the Amazon, as I said. So basically over 1 million invested since the beginning. Last year was a record, 260,000. So over 1,600 people impacted. This year we will break that record again, mostly because of COVID-19, and I'm going to show you that it's one of the main supports that we have been receiving funds right now.
One quick question: you say 1 million invested, you mean 1 million reals?
No, $1 million US.
Okay.
I think, yeah, 1 million US dollars.
Okay, great. Please continue.
Yes, sure. So this is basically the stakeholder map that we have. So we understand that we need to keep a strong relationship with local partner NGOs that have additional qualities and additional expertise than we. So we are experts on connecting those supply chains to the market and measuring that impact. But there are other NGOs that are more specialized and better than us for a educational project or a health project or something like that. So it's very important that we have a strong network, a local network, because there's no project only connected with the market or only connected with health or education. There are always opportunities to have a stronger project once you have those connections. So a key liaison is the private sector, as of course that's where most of the market demand comes from. We have many customers from Beraca that wanted to start giving back programs. So that's the Beraca Institute is an institution that we suggest. Obviously, our customers can choose, but this profile is always very much appreciated. The government, of course, we need to keep that connection, because we, even if we, in certain cases, if they do not support, the best that they can do is not to create any problems. So Brazil is a very political or politicized country. So it's important that although we do not support any kind of party or any kind of right or left polity, we need to be sure that we have them, okay to what we are doing. We don't create any problems. So we have four big programs. This is how we separate and how we classify our programs. We have a forest restoration and food safety program. We have a social welfare, sustainable businesses, and women empowerment. So basically, forest restoration, food safety, it's a very strong program that we have. So basically, we work with different models of agroforestry systems. So basically, these is applied in degraded areas that were originally primarily forests. And again, we need to run this kind of projects if we have a market to serve. So we are not recovering a degraded area just to preserve and to build a fence around it, because that doesn't work. From our experience, you need to build something that you are recovering and that can be sustainably used. Although from our experience, at least, it wouldn't work. So this year, our goal is to achieve 500 hectares of restored forests. And we have a few initiatives going on. Some of them, and most of them actually, are connected with final product customers. The social welfare is the program that is most active most recently, and because of COVID-19, that's the reason why. It makes sense. So currently for social welfare, basically all our resources are going to orient the groups and orient the local communities towards safe and clean, ways of handling food and their way of life. We are also donating food baskets for those that lost their jobs or they are struggling to go back to the markets, as most of the commerce is closed and reopening very slowly. But there are all kinds of social welfare projects going back to water, solar panels, communication. So all of these subjects, all of these themes goes under this social welfare program. Another one, which is one of my favorites because it's more of a long-term kind of program, is connecting the agro-extractivism to fair markets. So with these kind of projects, we strengthen the agroforestry value chains. We increase the family income. We have to work on the social organization of the community. Entrepreneurship is a key aspect. And through the sustainable use of biodiversity, we create a conservation of nature in a balanced way. And
just one question about that.
Sure.
The word extractivist is not something that many Americans know. Can you explain what that word means?
Yes, I'm sorry. So extractivism is basically wild harvesting. So we have two models of mostly of income in these areas. There is the wild harvesting, which we call extractivism. So we are extracting something from nature, and we have the family agriculture, right? So basically, there are cultures of like rubber tree or even seed collecting in the wild. It's what we call extractivism, and maybe that's not a very much known word. And family agriculture, which is basically is another very important model of family income.
Great. Yeah, you can continue. Thanks.
Sure. And women empowerment is also an important program from our portfolio because in many countries, and in Brazil it isn't different, of course, if you are not bringing income to the family through your work, it's very hard to find respect. It's very hard to avoid in these areas domestic violence, violence against women, and other social problems. So once we create an environment, a business environment where we are not harming the local culture, but at the same time, we are offering a kind of activity that fits better in many ways the women, the women from the group. We create much more benefits than just the economical. So we are creating autonomy, we are creating visibility, recognition, and we kind of create an extensive range of good through their work. So it's not only talking about it, but they are, you know, they really can get their independence, financial independence. They can help their families, and at the same time, we lower many other bad index, such as domestic violence. So this is a very key program. And as I said, it's very important that we have our own methodology to evaluate and to measure and compare the development of each group. So basically, we have what we call Beraca Institute Index, and basically it's a share of motivation, social capital, human capital, management capabilities, and essential infrastructure. So obviously, their essential infrastructure is the least important aspect, but it needs to be considered within this measurement, especially because we need to keep tracking the development of the group in every single way, from the social way, from the motivational way, perspective, from the human capital perspective, and of course their capabilities. So basically, this is how we divide, and how we obviously behind this there are many different forms and methodologies and ways to present and to collect that kind of information. But this is the general overview of the index. A little bit of the supporters and partners. Of course, Beraca is a supporter and a partner. So we have many projects of supply chain development that we run through the Beraca Institute. But the most important supporters and partners are other final product companies, such as L'Oreal, Aveda, Simple Organic, Tarte, and many others, as well as more institutions like Imaflora, Idesan. So they are, as I said, the local other NGOs that we need in order to have good results. And that's it. I hope that I could present a little bit more about Beraca and its institute. And I'm open for questions as you wish.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Daniel. That was really, really interesting. I loved hearing about it, both on the business side as well as the institute. One of the things I just wanted to ask, and this is going to be a natural question from me because I work with the Catasta Foundation, and we focus on land and resource rights.
Okay.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you is, whether or not the issue around land rights, formalizing and acknowledging, recognizing land rights for both individuals and communities has been an issue, particularly given the evidence that shows when you have secure land rights that there's a big impact on women's empowerment, on incomes, on tenure security, et cetera. So it just has a lot of connections to some of the development outcomes that you're focused on here. So I was just really curious about if any of that comes into your work at all.
Yes, Amy, that's a great question. And the answer is yes. The problem, or the biggest challenge, is that obviously land ownership and the debate around that is mostly done in the capital of Brazil. It's mostly done by the politicians. Obviously, there are many institutions that, especially for Indian rights, for instance, we have a huge discussion in the Xingu area, where we have the biggest Indian community area, and at the same time the highest pressure around mining mostly, and also cattle. So of course this is a big part of our reality here, but we try to, as this is a very long-term kind of discussion, and in the short term, we try to I wouldn't say live with it, because it's, but we need to think, at least from our way of handling that. Today we need to pay our bills, and tomorrow as well. Of course, if most of these communities would own their land, so the pressure would be lower towards very big landowners that want to expand their production. But if they have a way to live from that land that they are at least based on, and there are many settlements that are quite strong here in Brazil. So they do not own the land, but they are, like huge areas that they have been sitting on for decades. So basically they can use that land, not in a formal way, but if we offer them a form of autonomy, at least in a socio-economic way, in the short term, it's not it's just a short-term fix, but that's what we try to focus the most. But that kind of discussion is it's a huge problem in Brazil. Most of those lands are not regulated. Most of it, I would say, over 90%.
Yeah, not registered or documented.
Yeah. So and if there is a documentation, there may be 2 or 3 more
claims
for this, exactly, for the
claims,
same
multiple
land.
Claims. Yeah.
Exactly.